Hello. So I'm back with a new video, and this is going to help you know about your chakras. I hope I am audible to everybody, and I hope it's clear. And this is going to clear all your doubts you have about chakras, what they are, why they are, how to keep them balanced, how to heal them, and what happens when you don't heal them, what happens when they are imbalanced, and what different kinds of foods you can take in order to balance your chakras. Uh, there are many things, many things. Okay, so I am going to wait for 2 more minutes, and let's see. Let's wait for others to join us so that I can give you a very brief idea about what your chakras are. Okay, so so today I'm going to touch what exactly are chakras. There's a lot of chakra talk going on these days, and most of it is pretty complicated, might seem pretty complicated, or it might seem like a knowledge you are not used to, or something only a very spiritual person can know, which might in turn make you think that okay, the knowledge about chakras is not for me. But no, that is not the case, because each and every person has to know what chakras are, and they need to know it. It's very simple process, guys. It's a very simple process in order to keep your chakras balanced. It's not very hard. It just needs I would say mindfulness, being conscious of what you do, being conscious of what might be blocking your path in life, what it could be that might be blocking your creativity, your achievements, a lot of things you might be finding blockages. So you just need to be mindful about what you do. I'm going to help you with that, take you through a process, first explain what chakras are, take you through a process, and um, I really hope today's session is going to help a number of you, and it's going to clear a lot of your doubts. Okay, so just in case I can't reply to you during the video, during the live session, just put it in the comments, and I'm going to get back to you once the video is done. Any doubts, any questions you have, even later on once you watch this video, like many might not be able to join me online, but whoever watches my video later on, you guys are most welcome to ask me any questions, and I'm going to try my level best in order to answer you. Okay, so what are chakras? Okay, we're going to start with it. uh, what are chakras? First of all, guys, I want to be very clear, I'm not doing any reading right now. This is just a session in order to tell you about chakras. Okay, so there is no reading, there's absolutely no reading going on right now. So I am just going to ignore the messages which asks me to give a reading, because I'm not giving a reading right now. Okay, I'm really sorry about that, but this session is not for it. Okay, so now what are chakras? Chakras are basically um, energy points. There is something called nadis. Nadis are, in a simpler term, in a scientific term, you could say nerves. Okay, nerves which allow the passage of energy throughout the body. Your body is completely connected with nerves, right? Now these nadis, what they do is a place of a junction, of the conjuncture of these nadis, of these nerve endings, is called a chakra. Okay, so people always talk about 7 chakras, right? You all must be familiar about from the root chakra to the crown chakra, but in truth there are 114 important chakras, important nadi junctures in our body. 114, two of which are outside. outside the physical body, in our energetic body, in our aura. So it's not possible for us to take care of them. And even out of the 112, four of them we cannot, we have no control over them. We won't be able to control them, we won't be able to do anything related to them, because they are related to the divine consciousness, to the higher consciousness. Okay, so out of the 108, now out of the 108, it is the most important are 21 of them. Okay, so even this 21 is it is like, connected to the number 7. The reason it is 21 is because there is something called Ida, Pingala and Sushumna, which is inhale, exhale, and the part in between, wherein it goes in, stays there, comes out. That is the simpler version of Ida, Pingala and Sushumna I'm teaching you. So as you inhale, 7 chakras are activated. So, as you exhale, 7 chakras are activated, and the midpoint in between, wherein you hold your breath and just stay there, 7 chakras are activated. So that makes it 21 chakras. It will be in every breath you take, it will be like 3 chakras. And then it's like a, there's a proper scientific explanation to it. And it is not, so when we talk about yoga, especially hatha yoga, it is not just exercises. Okay, it is not just exercises, or it's not how much you can bend your body, or how much time you can stand on your Sirshasana or something like that. No, Hatha Yoga is based on balancing these chakras. It is completely, it's a scientific method of balancing these 21 chakras. Now, what happens is, when we do only Hatha Yoga, then yes, physically, psychologically, mentally, all these chakras will be balanced, which means you will be super healthy. But energy wise, you will be a mess, because even though they are balanced, you should also know how to cleanse them, how to heal them, and how to unblock them. That is important, right? Now, out of these 21 chakras, the main are the 7 chakras, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, but let me go through them. Okay, so the first one is the root chakra, which is the point between the anal region and the genital region, all the way at the base of the spine. That is the root chakra. Okay, the second one will be a little below, a little above your genitals. The third will be a little below your navel, and the next will be a little below your rib cage point, where your rib cage meets. Just below that would be the next one. Then the next would be the heart area. The next would be the throat area, at the base of your throat. Then it's the forehead and the crown. Okay, so the names of these are the root chakra. The root chakra is the one at the base, which is the Muladhara. The next is the Swadhisthana chakra, which is the sacral chakra. It is just above the genital area. Then there is the solar plexus chakra, which is just below the navel. I would say about 2 fingers below the navel. Then there is the next chakra is the Anahata chakra, which is the heart chakra, which is like, below, just below the rib cage. And then there's the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and crown chakra. Now there are many I would say myths, misbeliefs, that once your crown chakra is activated, you are going to be all powerful. You are going to like many people ask me that, how do I activate my crown chakra? No, it's not how it works. Your energy centers are like a pipe which hold you, and each center is like a clamp. Got it? So you, if the pipe is clogged at the bottom, there is no way the air will go through, there is no way energy will pass through. So you can't just activate your third chakra and say that, okay, I am, you know, all powerful now, I have learned a lot of things. No, you have to start from the root chakra, you have to start cleansing from the root chakra. And as you cleanse from the root chakra, you will realize the changes which occur, the changes which happen. And the realization is what will help you manifest what you want in life. So it is not that just because your third eye chakra is open, you will end up manifesting whatever you want. Because many people say that yes, when you have third eye chakra, which means you are a psychic, you have all the power, so you can manifest whatever you want. No, but that is not how it works. There are no shortcuts in spiritualism. There are absolutely no shortcuts, especially being a human, a body covering a soul which has lots of lessons to learn, lots of things to learn. It will definitely not allow you to take a shortcut. Believe me, nobody who has tried managed to go directly to that place. Even though there's a chance that, when the third eye is activated without unblocking the rest, hallucinations occur. Okay, you get the or if the crown chakra, if they feel that, okay, my kundalini has passed up, it has gone till the crown and it has opened up my crown, what happens is they go into the belief that they are god. They go into the belief that they are all powerful. Also, they go into the belief that god talks to them, you know that kind of hallucinations. So it is very, very, very important to know what is real and what is not. As it is, this world is not real, right? It is what we are creating in our minds. And if our minds start playing tricks on us, then it's going to get very, very, very hard. Okay, so in this session I'm going to tell you very basic things about the chakras, like what foods are good for the chakras, what happens when the chakras are dominant, and what happens when they're blocked. Got it? So let me go through a bit of my notes, because I don't want to miss anything in this. So the first thing is when these chakras are dominant, what happens? How is it going to help you? Okay, so when these chakras are first of all, these chakras are related to different elements. Okay, so the root chakra is related to the earth element, and when the root chakra is dominant, it keeps you grounded. It keeps you grounded in reality, albeit your own reality, but it keeps you grounded. It will not what happens is it's basically food and survival. Root chakra is always about food and survival, the basic things. So what happens is, even you will have problems relating to that. You will have financial problems, you won't be able to settle in a job, you will have blockages, like anxiety blockages related to basic survival things. Like you will be getting a lot of salary, but it will not stay in your hands. It will just move out. It just comes to you and then it moves out. And financial stability, career, or you will not have a home, or all these are basic food and survival stuff. So when these problems occur to you, then it means there is something wrong with your root chakra. Check on it. What I'm going to do is, after the video, I'm also going to put up a post about the frequency music. I mostly use the solfeggio music, or the binaural beats also you can use. I am going to share the frequencies for each chakra. It is going to help you heal, balance, and sometimes unblock your chakras. But there are certain spiritual meditative practices like grounding, meditation, water therapy. When you do all these, then they're going to help cleanse the chakras more. Okay, now okay, so that's for the root chakra, wherein it is about grounding. It's all about grounding. When you are grounded, you are like, down to earth. You know that, your ego will not uh, make you reach to a place wherein your survival depends on others' beliefs or others' actions. You are grounded, you know what you want, you know how much you want, and you are ready to fight for it, you are ready to go for it, right? So that is for the root chakra. Now when you come to so when you have problems with the root chakra, you will have these um, problems related to anal problems like piles and all that shows root chakra blockages. Okay, the second one is the sacral chakra, which is just above the genitals. Now, sacral chakra is all about pleasures. So, when you say pleasures, many people say that, when the sacral chakra is dominant, it's just a sexual pleasures. No, it is pleasures related to in the physical world. Okay, any pleasure related to the physical world. You will love a lavish buffet. You will love to live in a place which has maids and cooks and people serving you. It is basically about pleasures in the physical world. Okay, now what happens is when the sacral chakra is dominant, then you will enjoy the pleasures, you will have a fun time in this physical world, and you will work towards it, you will always work towards it. But what happens is when it is not dominant, like when it is blocked, there will be problems related to sexual problems, there will be related problems related to genitals, um, a lot of problems like low sex drive, mostly pleasures, yes, mostly it is the pleasures, different kinds of pleasures. And also there would be like infections, and a lot of problems crop up when there is sacral chakra problems. Okay, sacral chakra blockage. Now the third one is the solar plexus, which is just below the navel. Now, solar plexus, as you know from the area it is located, it is in the stomach area, right? So, when it is in the stomach area, what happens is when it is dominant, it is pretty, uh, I would say, it'll keep you pretty happy, right? It'll keep you pretty happy, like you will enjoy good food, um, you will enjoy the what do you say, you don't have control issues, you are happy, you are happy with the world, you are happy with yourself. Okay, but what happens is most of us, I would say about 50% of us, I wouldn't go beyond that, 50% of us tends to store our anxiety in that area. Ever heard of the phrase butterflies in my stomach? What are all those butterflies? It's the emotions you're storing in there, they flare up. Okay, so many of us tend to store, like if you can't see something revolting, you would immediately touch your stomach, oh that's so gross, right? Or if something happens and you can sense the hurt, many people tend to store it in the stomach or in the heart, right? Now, what happens is when you store it in the stomach, unless you release it, unless you unblock that chakra, what happens is stomach problems will occur. They will occur. There will be stomach ulcers, there will be problems with the intestines, there will be problem with everything related in that area. You would have a lot of problems related to that. So all these chakras, first thing we have to know is whatever blockages are in the chakras will end up manifesting as physical problems in our body. So it is important to keep them clean, it's important to balance them, it's important to heal them and keep them unblocked. Got it? Now, above the solar plexus, you come to the heart chakra, which is like just below where the rib cage joins at that part is your heart chakra. Now, as you know, heart chakra is mostly related to your creativity and happiness, unconditional love. So when the heart chakra is blocked, when it is not dominant and it is blocked, you will start being suspicious of everything. There will be no love as such in your life. Even if it comes, it's going to leave, because there's no place, there's no space. You have to make space. Heart chakra, the affirmations we give for heart chakra is always to expand it, because the bigger the heart chakra, the the more love, the more unconditional love you can show to the external world, or even towards yourself. There would be no self love, there would be no happiness within yourself, no satisfaction, and all these problems occur with the heart chakra, like when it is blocked. Got it? When it is dominant, you are super creative. When the heart chakra is dominant, yeah, you'll be very creative, you'll be very very because whatever you do looks beautiful, you know and when it looks beautiful, what happens? You want to do more of it, right? Okay, after that, after the heart chakra is the throat chakra. It is over here. Yeah, people say here, but it's actually where your clavicle meets. Okay, it's here. That's the throat chakra, at the pit of your throat, right? So what happens when your throat chakra is dominant? I would say this is one of the chakras which will make you really powerful, because you can speak, and people who can talk, people who can speak, who can put their thoughts across, put their ideas across, are always leaders, right? Because eloquency in speech is one of the best gifts a person can have, according to me. So what happens when a throat chakra is blocked? What happens is you uh, you can't tell your thoughts, and you can't tell out your opinions. When that happens, it gets stuck here. The throat chakra becomes blocked, and when it is blocked, what happens is your self esteem falls down, your self confidence will erode, because you're not able to put your thought across. Your opinion is not being valued. You think your opinion is not being valued, but the problem is that the throat chakra will not allow you to speak. Have you ever observed that? Let me give you a small example. If you are about to cry, if you are about to cry, your throat seizes up, it will not let you talk. That is the throat chakra getting blocked. It doesn't let you talk, it will not let you put out your feelings, right? So sadness is one of those emotions which you have to let out some way. I always suggest crying. Cry it out, it's okay, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to cry in front of others, go to a room, close the door and cry it out, but let it out, because only when you let it out will the throat chakra become unblocked, right? Now, one thing you have to understand in these chakras is they start with the animal chakras. The first three chakras are the animal chakras, wherein you have the food, sleep, sex. So all the survival things. Okay, it's digestion and all the survival things basically. And then you reach the heart. Heart is a human chakra. That is the reason it is always in your control to expand it. There, no other chakra can you expand. Yes, you can unblock them, you can heal them, you can balance them. But expansion comes with your heart chakra. There is no limit to love. There's absolutely no limit to love, right? And as you keep growing your unconditional love, your heart chakra keeps expanding until it surrounds you, it surrounds the space you are in, it surrounds the state you are in, the country you are in, you know, the entire earth. And then there will be no difference between you, yourself, your family, and others. So, above the heart chakra are the divine chakras, which is the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, right? Now, from the throat chakra, let's move on to the third eye chakra. Now, what happens at the third eye chakra? When the third eye chakra is blocked, your intuition is blocked. It is important to know that intuition is not something which will make you God. No, intuition is just a sixth sense. It's like you're sitting in a room, somebody enters the room, and you sense it, right? That is your psychic skills, and all of us are born with it. All of us are born with it. It's just that they lie dormant till you activate it. That's all. But what happens is when this um, the third eye chakra is blocked, you tend to get lot of headaches. There will be migraines, there will be headaches, there will be a lot of what do you say, insomnia, anxiety issues, because you don't know, there is something, the mind is sensing something is going to happen, but it's not able to bring it out. What happens, which means it's getting clogged there, right? So when it gets clogged there, it manifests in form of a headache, migraines, and you know, some people have intense insomnia, like, you know, they can't sleep for like 3 days straight, and all these occur when your third eye is blocked. Now, the when you cleanse, balance, and heal your third eye, what happens is your intuition will increase, and also along with the intuition, why does it increase? Why does the intuition increase? It increases because the third eye relates to the intellectual knowledge. You are allowing your own higher being to send to you the higher knowledge, the intellectual knowledge, which actually belongs to you, but the time has to come wherein you connect with the higher self. Got it? So this higher self, which is there, it is basically a collection of knowledge which the soul has kept somewhere, you know, in a different dimension, and we need to connect with that dimension, and the knowledge will flow to us. It can flow through any ways, like, you know, many people see the angel numbers, which means there's some knowledge which is trying to come, but if you can't make a sense of it, it means that there is some blockage, and there is some time limit wherein um, you need to wait. You need to wait for the message, because your body is not yet ready to receive that message. But sometimes what happens is it can come through somebody else. Like, suppose you post in the group that I keep seeing the number 111 111. It's been happening from last 1 week. Then one of the readers will be able to tell you what it means. That is also knowledge. It can either directly come to you, or it can come through one of the readers. Either way, your soul is ready to accept that message, right? And some people, they hear things like you know, every day around say midnight or 3 o'clock, or every day in the afternoon, when they are taking a nap or something. Every single day they tend to hear voices. It could be something, you know, it could be the different dimensions trying to connect with us, or it could be your own higher self trying to download some messages for you, which you're not ready for yet, right? So as you develop your intuition, as you cleanse your third eye chakra, what happens is these intuition skills will develop, and you will get stronger. You will also be able to control the way you think, the way you talk. The reason they say third eye chakra makes you powerful is because you are going to get an emotional intelligence, wherein you know how to talk, how to behave, how to understand other people, and how to react in certain situations. See, doesn't that make you powerful? You know exactly what to do, when, where, and how. So it makes you powerful. Does not mean it makes you like, I don't know, equal to God or something. I personally don't believe in that, but many people do, I guess. And I'm not judging. But the thing is, this is what happens when your forehead chakra, it opens up. Not open up, I wouldn't even say open up. When it is cleansed, when it is healed and balanced, you will be able to develop your intuition. You'll be able to develop your psychic skills because you have the knowledge, intellectual knowledge, which will come down to you. Okay, then the last is the crown chakra. So crown chakra is in this place. It is that soft spot when the babies are born. It's like this, the last part of the body which is formed because before the baby comes out. So that's the reason in India we say don't touch the child on the head for at least 1 year. Like, we don't pat them or nothing like that. And we are very careful. We are very, very careful, right? I'm sorry, I really don't know how it is in other countries, but this is what they say in India, that when the babies are born, that place is really tender, and even for us, that is the softest part of our body. So now, when the crown chakra is blocked, your connection with the divine is blocked. So what happens is, when the crown chakra has a problem, like, it is blocked and it is not healed, people start getting a god complex. They will start thinking that uh, we are equal to gods. We can do whatever God can do, we can do. Either that, or they get into a atheist complex wherein they don't believe in God at all. It's like, I believe science, I don't believe God at all. God does not exist, right? So either the atheist complex or the God complex, either one will happen. And also, when there is a blockage in the crown chakra, that is when Alzheimer's occurs. One of the main, I would say, one of the reasons for the Alzheimer's disease is a blockage in the crown chakra, wherein they are not allowed to connect with past memories. And by past memories, actually the soul has different lifetimes, and you are not supposed to remember the previous birth. But what happens in Alzheimer's is, it will not even let you remember uh, this this lifetime, because for it, childhood is one lifetime, your teenage years is one lifetime, and then your 20s is one lifetime. If it considers like that, then it is going to make you forget like a whole bunch of stuff, right? So Alzheimer's, and there's also this something called idealism confusion. They are really not sure what is the ideal society, or what exactly is idealism. you know they are confused. They have their own perception of it, or their own perception of what idealism is. So so these kind of problems occur when your crown chakra is blocked, right? Now what happens is, in order to keep all these chakras balanced, there are a few things you need to do, and there are a few foods you need to take. You can, in order to know how your chakras are blocked, look at your problems. If it is anxiety, then it could be the solar plexus. If it is stomach ulcers, or stomach related problems, food related problems, or anything, then it could either be the solar plexus or the sacral. Low sex drive, sacral. Genital problems, root chakra. Lungs, heart, ribs, any kind of problems, it's the heart chakra. Throat chakra, you unable to speak out what you want, you unable to, or you might even have wheezing, pre-asthmatic attacks, and it could also be tonsils. Tonsils is a major thing which occurs when there is a blocked throat chakra. So tonsillitis, you could have that problem. or there could be problems with your teeth, your mouth, you unable to speak eloquently, you're not very creative. All these things come into picture when your throat chakra is blocked, right? Now, one thing you have to know is it is possible to use the spiritual practices to reach from the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra, till your forehead chakra. It is there are umpteen number of spiritual practices. There's Kundalini, there's a lot of things, meditations, a lot of things you can do in order to reach from the root chakra till here. But there are no spiritual practices to move from the forehead to the crown, and only a guru can help you to do that. A teacher, a mentor, a guide, somebody you believe unconditionally, somebody you surrender to. And when you surrender that, there is something called, a phrase called Guru Sishya Sambandha, which is the relationship between a teacher and a student. It is not just, going to college, having a professor, learning things, going home, and you're doing by yourself. No, it is not that. A guru is somebody who can hold your hand and make you move from this place to this place. So many people come over here and they stay there because they either can't find a guru, or their soul is not ready to move from there to there, or because they don't believe in their guru, or umpteen number of things, a number of things you can have. So I would say 90% of people, they reach till here and they are there. Many healers, many practitioners, many what do you say, mentors, coaches, a lot of people I know have reached till that level and they have stayed there. What happens is, when you reach to that state, then you have to forget the concept of I, concept of self. The ego should not be there. It should be completely gone. And letting go of ego is like, I don't know, tearing a strip off your skin. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing, because we are born with it. It's a survival thing. So what happens is, from the crown chakra, from the forehead chakra till the crown chakra, the third eye chakra to the crown chakra, you will need a guru to take you there. I'm not sure how many are going to agree with this, but this is what I believe and this is what I know. I know to be the truth, but then it could be my truth, my sense of perception. This is what I learned in my spiritual growth. So again, no judgments, absolutely no judgments. Now also foods, so many people have asked that if you go in the spiritual path, is it important to stop eating non-vegetarian? Okay, so what happens is, as you grow, as your chakras, as you come in touch with your higher consciousness, or with either your higher consciousness or with a divine consciousness, whatever you come in touch with, what happens is the body starts requiring lesser food, lesser protein, lesser calcium. Especially the third eye chakra needs decalcification, wherein you can't eat any calcium foods. Okay, again, this is the experience I have gone through, and this is the experience a few healers have guided me into. So I'm not arguing with anybody regarding this, but this is my experience, that decalcification is very important when you want to reach your higher self, or even your light body. If you are trying to get in touch with your light body, then decalcification is important. Also, the foods, your body will crave certain foods, those are called high vibration foods. Mostly it is the colored vegetables, leafy greens, bell peppers, all those kind of high vibrational foods it's going to crave. So there's no steadfast rule that you have to stop eating non-vegetarian, but the only thing I would suggest is maybe you can cut down on red meat. Nothing else. Just cut down on the red meat, because mostly it's just not highly vibrational, and it is going to create blockages in your chakras. That's all. And I wouldn't suggest anybody to stop eating anything, because I know that as you grow, as you spiritually grow, your body is going to reject it automatically. And but one thing I can say, if you still insist on eating it, once the body starts rejecting it, if you still insist on eating it, it will create some physical manifestation wherein it will stop you from eating it. Okay, so listen to your body, be in tune with your body, and listen to what it is craving, what it wants. And you know, physical exercises, lots of water, lots of rest. Sometimes the body just needs a lot of rest, so sleep it off. It's okay. It's okay even if you sleep a number of hours a day. It's just for a few days. But when the body needs it, please do it. Okay. Another thing, another most important common thing I would say is lower back pain. Okay, lower back pain happens when your sacral chakra is in trouble. Okay, when your sacral chakra is blocked, lower back pain is the most common thing which occurs. And we think that, you know, okay, it could be too much work or something like that. No, that's not true. So focus on clearing your sacral chakra when you have frequent lower back pains. Okay, and what else? So all these are based on different elements. Okay, so all the root chakra, like I said, you know, it's based on earth. Then you go above, it is fire and water. Your sacral chakra is based on fire and water, and as you go up towards your solar plexus, it's fire. See, the reason I'm telling this is, you know, how it feeds off it. This is how digestion occurs, because that is called it's the fire element which works in your stomach area. So what happens is, if you eat very spicy foods, or if you eat yeah, mostly if it is very spicy foods, if you eat, what happens is you are like, you know, it's like throwing fuel to that fire. And when that fire increases, the energy of the fire increases over there, it starts burning everything around it, and that's when the stomach ulcers and all those will start. Okay, so too spicy food, try to avoid extremely spicy food. See, I'm an Indian. I do like spicy food. So like I said, I don't suggest anything to anybody, but this is just my observation that, you know, how these elements work on your body, right? So that is the reason they say that, you know, drink a lot of water, it will keep your kidney healthy, right? That is because it is the sacral part, right? The sacral chakra part, wherein it is fire plus water, so it will need water. If you can't just keep it just like that, you know, it will dehydrate you. It's going to create problems in your kidneys, in your liver, your uterus. All these things, you know, all these things will be in trouble if you don't keep those chakras balanced, right? Then as you grow up, it's water. Okay, then um, it once you come to the throat, it's actually air plus water. Okay, so because, you know, breathing, when you breathe, it is possible that you can breathe in through this also, right? So it is air plus water. You tend to feel dehydrated if you don't drink. First it's the mouth, and then it will be the stomach which will feel the effects of not drinking enough water. So drink enough water, it will help you keep the chakras balanced, right? Then these two are pure air. They're like, you know, it's just energy, you know, pure energy. That's all. And both the chakras, the elements which act on that are both air. Okay, so it is like, again, when you think in terms of yin and yang, it starts with yang, yin, yang, yin, and then it is yin yang and yin yang. These two are both, because they're balanced, they're both balanced. Okay, so I think I'll stop it over here. This should be good. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to just go through your comments and let me see if I can answer you all. Hi Farah Singh, Gab Lakota, Michelle Jagannath. Yes, vegetables and fruit, exactly. So, what happens is, even in the vegetables and fruits, if your root chakra, if you want to balance your root chakra, you can go with the root vegetables. Okay. I'm sorry, Jarka, I'm not doing any readings today. This is only about speaking about the chakras. Okay, so there are different foods. What I can do is I can put up a small post on what chakra requires what foods, the high vibrational foods, which will directly act on those chakras. Okay, I hope that would be okay, Michelle. uh, then thank you, Jen. Thank you so much, Eudanglis. Eloise, I'm not doing any reading. I'm really sorry. Yes, Mr. Muzaffar. What question do you have? Um, um, Jarka, it is like, like I said, it's not just uh, eight chakra. What do you mean the eight chakra? There, I have mentioned only about the seven chakras. What chakra are you talking about? The one above, the new light chakra which has come up, because now the new light body which is going to come up in the fifth dimension is going to have 12 chakras which are just forming right now. So one is right above, I would say about 6 inches above your head, and there is one which is coming up between your throat and your heart, which is like somewhere in between. And there are a few chakras which are forming. uh, Hi Monica. Sorry Sharon, no readings today. All right. Sharon, when you have lower back pain, it means there's a blockage in your sacral chakra. What you can do is, I'm going to share some affirmations with you all for like, in the next 3 days or so. I'm going to put up some posts wherein it will give you affirmations and what vegetables to use, what fruits to eat, and all that. Maybe that can help you. Always what you have to do is, whether you have problem in the lower back, or in the heart, back pain, or shoulders, whatever it is, please start from the root chakra. Do the affirmations, do the grounding is very necessary. And yes, Mr. Brijesh, I am sharing that. And what I'll do is, I'll just put up these posts, so it's going to help you. Oh, Jarka, okay. Crown chakra. No, dear, it is not like, I can help you directly with the crown chakra. Like I mentioned, you have to go from the root chakra. Okay, from the root chakra, and cleanse all the chakras, so that, like I said, a crown chakra can only be reached, or it can only be opened up by a guru, a mentor, a teacher. Okay, so check how it is at your third eye chakra. Do the affirmations, keep doing the affirmations for your third eye chakra, and the teacher will come to you once it is time for you to reach the crown chakra. Okay. Oh, I'm going to share the beginning, Jen. I'm going to share, I mean, the video is going to be there in the group. So maybe you can watch it again, and that might help you. You're welcome, Sharon. Alright, so I'm going to end it over here. Thank you so much for joining me. And any questions you have, please put it in the same thread, or you can drop in a message to me and I will try to clear it for you. Okay, and also yes, I will make it a point that in the next this weekend I'm going to finish all the affirmations and everything. And yes, Jen, I have videos for that. I mean, I have not shared, and it's there on my YouTube channel, but I usually keep them unlisted. But yes, I can. What I can do is I can share the affirmations for all these, and that should be helpful for you all. Okay. Or what I can do is maybe do a few FB lives, a few more FB lives wherein I teach you only the affirmations for each chakra, if you all would like that. Okay, so do let me know in the comments if you want that, then I can do it. Otherwise I can just post it as just a post. Okay, thank you so much, thank you so much for joining me, all of you. So I will see you again sometime, maybe after a couple of weeks. Let me come up with a new topic, and if you like any new topic, do let me know. Oh, I'm sorry, somebody mentioned Angela, stomach pain. Okay, so stomach pain occurs when you have some serious blockage in your solar plexus chakra. So can you drop me a message on how it feels like, if you're comfortable in the group, yes, I can reply to you in the group. I can give you affirmations in the group itself. If you're not comfortable sharing it, you can personally message me. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you for money or anything, or try to scam you. So you can just drop in a message, and I will try to help you with it. Okay, I will definitely try to help you with it. Anything else? Did I miss anything? Alright, this seems it. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, all of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, namaste.